For the half step bend, the description is that I'm going to strike the note and bend it up half a step. Now if you look at the tablature, we're starting off on the 9th fret on our 3rd string on our G string, so our starting position is going to be that note for this example. And if you look on the tab also, it's got a little arrow that goes up and it's got a little half there indicating that it's a half step bend. Now what does a half step bend mean? A half step is a semitone, so on a guitar that means 1 fret. So the note that we start with wants to be raised in pitch by 1 fret or half a step, so it wants to end up sounding like the next fret up. So starting on the 9th fret, when I bend the note, it wants to be at the pitch of the next fret up, at that pitch. So if you're not familiar with bends, I've done a series, I'll put a link, but try and memorise the note that we're trying to aim for when we start doing the bend. So I'm going to start there and I'm going to bend. I picked it a few more times just so you can hear it. On the notation on the tab, we're only picking once, so we're going to pick the first note and then bend up and hope we get to the right place. And again, check with our reference, the next fret up, to try and make sure that our bend's in tune. In terms of fingering, all these bending exercises, the next few ones that I'm going to do, it's asking us to play this 9th fret on the 3rd string. It's not giving me a fingering suggestion for it. If there's no other note to be played, so if my guitar teacher or examiner says, Matt, play me a half step bend on the 9th fret, and I can use any fingers I choose, my fingers of choice would be to play the 9th fret using my 3rd finger, and my other fingers, my 1st and 2nd fingers, would be also on the string helping me to push that up. Now I don't need the strength of those fingers pushing it up, I can do it just with 1 finger. But I have a lot of experience doing this. The other fingers will give me a lot more control over the bend, so I'm not having to force the issue. I can use very little energy to bend the string up, because I've got 3 fingers then working on the bend rather than just trying to force the issue with 1 finger. I've got sort of basic gauge string. I've got 10 gauge strings on this guitar. If you play heavier gauge strings or an acoustic guitar, it might be a lot harder to bend the note, in which case the other fingers might become a lot more important, helping you to bend it up to there. But always try and keep in memory your target note, so that it sounds the same. You might even be able to use your tuner, if you've got one of those little clip-on tuners or something, that'll tell you when you do your bend whether you've hit the right note. I tend not to use that these days, but if you're just starting out, then that's another technique you could use to make sure you get the half step bend. So that's the half step bend in terms of how it's notated on tab and how we will be playing it.